Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nahmadu wa nasalli ala Rasulil Kareem. Welcome to this series on the Seerah of Rasulullah SAW, on the biography of the Prophet SAW. Today we doing the continuation of the Urjuz al-Mi'iyah, the poem on the biography of the Prophet SAW. The next we'll cover the line 1 to 11, 13 today, and every night of Ramadan, inshallah, starting from tomorrow, we'll be doing 3 lines a night. And inshallah, this 100-line poem will complete reading it. And as I said in the beginning, this is a summary of the details of the life of Rasulullah SAW. So let's start with the first line today. ثم أبو طالب العم كفل خدمته ثم إلى الشام رحل. So then his uncle Abu Talib took it upon himself to support him, and later he took him for a journey to Sham. So as last week we understood that the Prophet ﷺ, we learnt that his mother passed away when he was at the age of 6. She passed away in front of him, was buried. His father already passed away before he was born, in the most strongest opinion. And then his grandfather passed away when he was 8 years old. On his deathbed, Abdul Muttalib, the Prophet's grandfather, advised one of his sons, Abu Talib, who was the full brother of Rasulullah ﷺ father, Abdullah. So Abdul Muttalib had many wives, and from the wife that had Abdullah, also she had Abu Talib. So he was the full uncle of the Prophet ﷺ. So he was given the task, and he took it upon himself to support the bring the 8-year-old Rasulullah ﷺ, to bring him up. And this is something we have to think about the Prophet ﷺ, because we generally think of Rasulullah ﷺ as an adult, mature man, with a beard and so forth. But when you read the Seerah, we understand that Rasulullah ﷺ was a human being, and he was he was a baby, and then he was a child, and then he was a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and now as an 8-year-old, he's been taken care by his uncle. He has no parents and no grandparent, and he's been taken care by his uncle. And his uncle fulfilled that task in an amazing way. The Seerah books is replete with examples of how much he actually, above and beyond what anybody would do, he took care of our Prophet ﷺ, despite the fact that he was a non-Muslim until the end. But he supported Rasulullah ﷺ. He helped Rasulullah ﷺ, protected Rasulullah ﷺ, and he raised the Prophet ﷺ. So he said then his uncle Abu Talib took it upon himself to support him, to do his khidmah, and later he took him on a journey to Sham. Sham is of course Syria and the surrounding countries like Jordan, Lebanon and Palestine, but mainly it's what we refer to is that region is in English is called the Levant. In Arabic is Sham. And the main country of that region is Syria. The Prophet ﷺ went on a journey at the age of 12. So Abu Talib took him care of in such a way that he trained him from a very young age. He used to give him more preference to his own children. He used to give more preference. He used to prefer him over his own children. Take care of him. He was an orphan nephew. He made sure that he was really taken care of and trained him and ready him for life. And he took him on a trade journey to Sham. So the next line of the poem, وَذَاكَ بَعْدَ عَامِهِ الثَّانِي عَشَرٍ وَكَانَ مِنْ أَمْرِ بَحِيرَ مَشْتَهَرٍ. This was after he reached the age of 12. In this journey transpired the well-known meeting with Bahira, the monk. So Rasulullah ﷺ first journey to Sham was at the age of 12. Young boy. If you imagine a 12-year-old today, try to imagine how Rasulullah ﷺ, a 12-year-old would look like, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then his uncle is taking him on his trade caravan to deal and trade and introduce him to an adult life and of responsibility. But when they went to a place called Busra in Sham, and when they went there, what transpired was the incident, that meeting with Bahira. Now, there are some ulama have said that this incident, they don't accept this incident based on the narration, but majority of the ulama accept that such a meeting did take place. And there are details on it. It's in the Seerah books. not very strong narrations about the type of questioning. See, what happened was Bahira was a monk. He never went out of his cell, his monastery for anybody. But when this caravan came, the caravan that Rasulullah SAW was, he paid special attention to it. And then he found Rasulullah SAW, the 12-year-old Rasulullah SAW he found. And he asked him questions, meaning he interviewed him. And see, in the previous books of the Yahud and Nasara, the descriptions of Rasulullah SAW there, he knew straight away who Rasulullah SAW was. And Allah says in the Quran, they recognize Rasulullah SAW as a prophet of Allah, like they recognize their sons. That's the level of recognition. You cannot mistake somebody else's child with your own child. They recognize Rasulullah SAW that much. They know they had so much knowledge, but they hide that knowledge. Allah told us in the Quran about the Yahud and Nasara. They have the details of Rasulullah SAW. They know it's him, that he is the final messenger and prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he recognized, not as an adult, when after proclaiming his prophecy and telling and the revelation of the Quran, no, as a child he recognized. Then he saw the seal, the mark on the back of Rasulullah SAW. And so he went, who's taking care of this boy? And Abu Talib, who are you? He goes, I'm his father. He goes, no, you cannot be. This is a boy whose father must have passed away. He said, yes, I'm his uncle. Then there's a conversation that took place between them where he advised him to not go ahead further on his journey, take this boy back. His matter is great in the sense of that Allah has written greatness for him. But if the Yahud and the people of the book, if they find out and he's not one of them, Rasulullah SAW came from the Quraysh and he came from the descent of Ismail alayhi salam. He feared evil and harm will be done to him. We know the Bani Israel, they killed their prophets. They used to kill so many of their prophets. So he's basing on knowledge of how these people react and how they'll misbehave with this future prophet, Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, and he saw many signs and many unusual things. I mean, just imagine when he came to the house of Halima Sa'diyah, when he came to her house, how many barakas, Allah and mercies and blessings came to that family and that tribe, as we did in the previous lessons. So you can imagine as a 12-year-old, many things were transpiring around him, many things were happening around him, that those who are in tune with that, they're taking notice of that, they're taking notice of changes because of the appearance of a certain personality. They're taking note of that. They realize this is someone special. Rasulullah SAW coming into this world was special, his childhood was special, and his youth, his young age, a 12-year-old Rasulullah SAW was also very special. وَسَارَ نَحْوَ الشَّامِ أَشْرَفُ الْوَرَى فِي عَامِ 25 اذْكُرَى. The best of humanity traversed to Sham again. Remember that he was 25. So Rasulullah SAW, after that, when he was 12, he returned back with his uncle and he stayed in Makkah Mukarramah. At the age of, and then he was a shepherd in Makkah Mukarramah and surrounding Makkah and the valleys around it. At the age of 25, he was given a job by Sayyidina Khadija radiallahu anha, who was later to become the mother of the believers, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That will go through tomorrow, inshallah. So the best of humanity, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at the age of 25, he was put ahead of a caravan or her trading caravan, and she was sent to Sham again. And many things happened. Maysara, the slave of Khadija radiallahu anha, or the freed slave of Khadija radiallahu anha, he noted the way he transacted, his honesty in the way he's dealing with people. He didn't cheat people, didn't lie to people. And also noticed the various things, miracles, you can say, that followed Rasulullah. As I mentioned, Rasulullah as a baby, as a child, as an adult, and as after revelation, announced to be a prophet, and actually giving the mission to give da'wah to the people. Every step there's barakah descending, rahmah descending, help of Allah descending. So he noticed these outstanding aspects of the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's two trade journeys, one at the age of 12 and one at the age of 25, which he took before his prophethood. We know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got his prophethood at the age of 40. So far, up to line 13, we're still covering the life up to the age of 40, meaning the main incidents that occurred in the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's very important. Sheikh Muhammad bin Adam Kawsari from UK, Leicester, mashallah, he put a post the other day very beautifully. He said that you have to know Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam before you can love him. You have to know him, his life. That's why we're doing this seerah. He said when you study his seerah, his biography, and you study his shama'il, his characteristics, meaning it's called the prophetic portrait. When you study what Rasul looked like and everything around him and how he was and his clothes and his ring and his turban and his cap and miswak and everything that he did and his characteristics. When you learn his characteristics and you learn his biography, love comes in the heart. And when love comes in the heart, then it's very easy to follow him. So this is very important that we learn the seerah, the life, the biography of the Prophet ﷺ, because the whole deen, including the whole of Quran, the Quran and the Sunnah and the entire deen came to Rasulullah SAW. He's the teacher, he's the role model that is sent, the practical example of the Quran that is sent. So we have to know his life, and we have to know the excellence of his life and the excellence of his character and the excellent characteristics in his life. And everything in his life is noteworthy. Everything in his life is special. Everything in his life is something to hold dear unto and learn and memorize. So memorize this, learn it. The right says that to learn it, remember this. Don't take these things for granted, because this is our deen. And on this, Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah said, I love the stories of the pious more than a lot of fiqh, more than a lot of laws of halal and haram. Why? Because in it is the akhlaq and adab of a nation. In it is the character and the mannerisms of a nation, of a people. Our Prophet ﷺ is the Imam of Salihin and Muttaqeen and Awliya and Anbiya. He is the most pious creation of Allah, the beloved of Allah. So his stories, his life is the most noteworthy and best life to study. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding of his life. Put the love of Rasulullah ﷺ in the hearts due to that. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to follow him in every aspect of our life. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.